Welcome. Thank you. Laura is with Homestead Organics in Hamilton, Montana. So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Laura.
Well, thank you. Well, like Colette said, my name's Laura Garber, and I'm the owner and the co-operator of Homestead Organics Farm in Hamilton, Montana, which is a small diversified farm with organic vegetables, poultry, seeds, and hemp, and a lot of on-farm education. So thanks for having me. I'm sorry that I'm not there in person. I don't know about you, but we got like 3 feet of snow. So I'm glad to be here to help with the extra work. So sorry I can't be actually with you. So I do a lot of things. So let me just name some of the hats that I have. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I want to record this. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, we're good to go. Thanks.
Okay. So I wear a lot of hats. So let me just kind of describe for you a little briefly what some of my hats are. So I'm an organic farmer. Like I said, I've been farming for 20 years. This is my 20th year farming, which is crazy. I own and co-operate Homestead Organics Farm. I'm the mother of 2 college kids, which I also can't believe, and I have a senior in high school foster daughter. I do catering, and our catering business is called Zen Kitchen, and we make dinners for people's weddings and large events and all kinds of random stuff. I love cooking. I started an on-farm education nonprofit called Cultivating Connections that uses my farm as the on-farm farm classroom, basically, and bringing kids to our farm in a lot of different ways to have direct experiences with agriculture. I'm also a co-op junkie. I'm also a co-op junkie, and I am a founding member of multiple co-ops, the Western Montana Growers Co-op, Poultry Growers Co-op, Loyal to Local Cooperative, Triple Divide Organic Seed Co-op, the Bitterroot Hemp Co-op, and I'm a member of Budwood Co-op. So I'm involved in lots of co-ops, and I ran for Montana State Senate in 2018 as an independent. So what's the pattern in all this? Well, I'm really diverse, and I really follow opportunity. And that's what resilience is all about. So as producers, and especially as women in food and agriculture, I think resilience is our key asset and our key ingredient. And so that's what I'm really striving for in my work, is to find resilience. And that really is being diverse and following opportunity. So I hope that that's what you all will pursue. And I will tell you some more about what I'm doing in all those areas with the hope of inspiring you to find your own resilience. So I've had a lot of opportunity to be involved in a lot of exciting ways in creating food system change. Started growing food 20 years ago. I took the first year of the Peas course at the University of Montana, which was their program in agriculture. So it was basically how to start a farm. So I took that class, learned with everyone how to start a farm, and then came and started my own farm the next year. I got involved with co-ops really quickly. I was involved with the Montana Poultry Growers Co-op for many years. At first, it was just cooperative feed purchasing, but then we really started growing a lot more poultry at our farm and being involved in selling poultry to our friends and neighbors. And then the poultry laws changed, and we really wanted to adapt to the changing rules and to be out there instead of being under the table. We wanted to be leaders and just being above board and showing people how you can do things. And so we reached out to some other farms, and with this other pair of farmers, Henry, my husband, and I really formed this idea to build a poultry processing facility, which right now, before that, there was nothing available in the state of Montana except at the Hutterite colony. And if you're not Hutterite, you can't use the Hutterite poultry processing facility. So we came up with this idea. We wanted to build something for ourselves to be able to stay in poultry, and raised money and designed and built the first poultry processing facility that's publicly available in Montana. And then, even better, since only one person or one entity can own the license to run a poultry processing facility in Montana, if it was me, because it's at my farm, it would just be my poultry. So instead, the Montana Poultry Growers Cooperative owns the license. And now everyone who joins the co-op has the privilege to have their poultry processed in this facility. So really taking co-ops to the next level, and how do co-ops affect our larger food system. So I've been fortunate to be involved with the Poultry Growers Co-op. And now with this first ever cooperatively managed poultry processing facility in Montana, not only are we able to, we bring our chickens to the front door and get them back in a bag, which is awesome. So I don't have to actually do the poultry processing anymore. But it's open to anyone who wants to grow poultry, and the farm that's managing the facility, their driving purpose isn't about poultry. It's about creating jobs for people with disabilities. And so they've got, most of the people working in the facility are adults with disabilities. So it's created this whole other opportunity for a whole different group of people, because we follow the opportunity of, what if we want to keep growing poultry? We have to build something for ourselves. So following the opportunity is really great. Another way I've been able to be involved in creating food system changes through a cooperative that I helped start called Loyal to Local Cooperative. And really the driving force behind that was working on ways to minimize the perceived competition among farmers, because a lot of small farmers, at least here and probably everywhere, there seems to just be a lot of thought that there's competition, but really we're team farm. The only competition is the Safeways in our areas, not each other, but there's not systems in place that help us see each other as co-creators of our food system. So we started Loyal to Local Co-op to work on that, thinking about ways to share our knowledge, ways to support each other, and ways that we can all benefit. So right now, Loyal to Local is in its 5th year, changing a little bit every year. Right now, our main focus is a multi-producer CSA. So we have 17 different growers in the Bitterroot Valley that are all providing different parts or whole shares in the CSA. So when you join, you can get a vegetable share, just like most CSAs, but you can also get a bread share and a meat share and a grain share and a flour share, and hard cider and beer. So we have 17 different kinds of CSA shares you can get. We had 125 share members last year. So it's really spreading the opportunity to lots of growers and lots of consumers. And within that, in changing the food system, within the vegetable share of our multi-producer CSA, every week divided into different categories. And so a small producer that can't grow carrots for the 100 members that get the CSA box, but they're going to have one big picking of green beans, that small producer can sign up for green beans 1 week and then still be able to participate in the CSA. So it provides space for entry into the food system for small growers and larger growers, which is really exciting. Another way I've been able to really help create food system change, I hope, this is my goal, is with my own Homestead Organics farm and our values-based sales approach. So we're selling at the farmer's market our mixed produce, and one of the main things we really like to focus on is removing plastic from our lives, taking it out of our food system. And so trying to change the food system, is a lot of it is just inspiring and educating and providing a different option. So we grow a lot of salad mix that we sell at the farmer's market. And it seems like most small growers bring their salad mix and then already in a bag, and you buy the plastic bag full of lettuce greens or whatever at the farmer's market is how everyone else does it, which is fine. But our values pushed us to, we bring our salad mix in bins, and then as you come up to us as a customer, we fill your wax paper bag with salad mix that you take home. So we're not providing a plastic bag at all. And then while I'm filling your salad mix into the wax paper bag, we can have a conversation about plastic, or we can have a conversation about why we like lettuce, or whatever we want to talk about. And then we're modeling not using plastic and making time for each other, that food is not about being fast. Even getting your salad mix does not have to be instant. It can take 2 minutes, and then you also get a wax paper bag. So our values-based sales is really exciting for me as a way for me to help create the food system that I want to see. We also have a bell, the market that we ring for people that bring their own bag. And some people don't even notice. There's a lot of people that will remind me if I didn't ring the bell for them when they brought their bag. And so I think it's a really great way for positive reinforcement for all of us. So that values-based sales is important for me, and that has we've always followed that as opposed to the economic value of the sale. We've really focused on the value of the values we're imparting. So that's been another way I've tried to help create systems change. And then with educating, I really love teaching. One of the degrees I ended up getting from the University of Montana is in elementary education. And I've always wanted to combine teaching and my love of food and my key principles that I believe in around community, which includes participation. And so we've been having lots of educational programs at our farm for years and years. And about 4 years ago, I finalized things and firmed it up. And our program is called Cultivating Connections, and it's its own nonprofit with RC&D is the sponsor for us. And so we're able to take nonprofit donations and function in that manner. And the whole point being on-farm education and community building through food, which has been super exciting for me to be able to take these ideals I have about community, that participation is really a must, but that means we have to create opportunities for people to participate. And so by providing internships, which one of the things that we have at our farm through Cultivating Connections for high schoolers, then we're providing opportunity for people to get involved in the food system, to learn how to care about the food system more and create more of the positive food system change that we all want to see. So creating opportunity is really important. We can't just say we want to change the food system or see it grow. We have to open up those doors for other people, especially young people, to get involved, I think. And I think another big part of it is celebration. We have to have parties about food. And so that's one thing that we're able to use our farm for is farm parties. It's just that celebration is really important. So some of the other things we're doing with Cultivating Connections, or some of the programs are, we have this kindergartners project. So we've had kindergartners from our school district coming to our farm for the past 7 years. This is our 8th season now, where the kindergartners come for a 3-part series, twice in the spring and once in the fall, and follow vegetables kind of along the path. So for example, in the spring, they'll help us plant potatoes. They plant their own little fairy garden. They can plant beans. They come twice. And then in the fall, actually at the beginning, when they're kindergartners in the fall, they come and they harvest potatoes, which then when they come back in the spring, they plant potatoes for the kindergartners for the next year. So really getting kindergartners involved in understanding their food. And we've done this at our farm for the last 7 years, and this year we're expanding it to include 2 other farms and 2 other school districts that we're prototyping how this is going to go bigger, but really trying to bring in kindergartners love food and they love being successful. And if they pick potatoes and put them in a bag, they feel great and they feel strong and healthy, and they want to take those potatoes home and get their family to eat them. And so really using the kindergartner as the way into the family is kindergartners program is kind of all about that. Through Cultivating Connections, we also have kids from the Linda Massa Youth Home that come to our farm every Wednesday for the Homies program, we call it, and they just get to spend 3 or 4 hours on the farm helping and not being under every restriction that kids that live in a group home are in. So they get to just kind of be and hang out and pet goats. It's great. We've had farm camp for several years, but our main program is the Youth Farm Internship Program, which is real paying jobs for high schoolers. We have 2 kinds. We have the youth community farming internship, which is this year will be 5 high school girls. Last year it was 4. The year before was 7. We're still every year tinkering with what number works best. So this year it'll be 5 high school girls. And I like to focus on girls for this program because they just excel when there's not boys around, and they do not have to worry about being dirty or asking silly questions or any of that. And I think agriculture has always been led by women, and so it's part of my goal is to encourage new young women to want to take leadership roles in agriculture. So only girls in this program, and they have a couple goals. They're growing food for Meals on Wheels, so they're growing a lot of food in the greenhouse and some things in the field, and then we're harvesting lettuces and herbs and carrots and beets and all kinds of stuff, and making fresh made salads. So last year we made 54 each week. This year we'll make about 100 quart-sized fresh salads that then get taken to Meals on Wheels and delivered the next day to all the Meals on Wheels recipients. So they're not getting anything fresh on Meals on Wheels. So this way they're getting like a 3-day supply basically of a fresh made salad just for them, made by the girls that grew all the salad ingredients. And then they also help lead special abilities camp. So we have day camp for 1 week for kids on the autism spectrum. So these girls are the buddies. And then the newest thing we're doing this year with the youth community farming internship is they each have their own garden section in a greenhouse that they'll get to manage and decide how they want it to be. And then from their garden each week, they'll put one item into the Best of the Farm CSA share that is sold through Loyal to Local Cooperative, multi-producer cooperative. So the Best of the Farm share will be one item from each girl's garden or from the farm, and then one item that we come up with together. And the people's membership money to buy that CSA share goes back to Cultivating Connections to pay the girls for their efforts to learn how to grow food for Meals on Wheels and lead camp for kids with autism. So it's trying to create a self-sustaining cycle within that program. And really the idea is to empower and promote and provide opportunity, which is really exciting to see what young people can do when given the chance. The other internship that we have this year is the Youth Field Crew. And the Youth Field Crew is going to be 3 high schoolers, girls and boys, whoever applies. We just got the applications out this week. And it'll be a 20-week internship that they'll come and are basically doing field work on our farm, growing specific crops for the Loyal to Local multi-producer CSA. We had some gaps in our vegetable CSA that we lost a farm, and so we needed to fill the gaps, and none of the current farmers could take it on. And so we created this program basically to fill in the gaps. So we're meeting two goals, or my favorite farm phrase, people will say, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? But it's really not nice to kill birds. So we hoe 2 rows with 1 pass. So the hoeing 2 rows with 1 pass on this one is providing opportunity for young people to learn about growing food and making the CSA veggie share still work because the food's being provided. So it's also self-supporting. Then the co-op will pay Cultivating Connections the value of the food that it sells to the CSA, which then pays the high school interns to learn how to grow it. Another fun thing I'm doing with high schoolers is and the big key on this one is the idea is just to ask. And if you want to be involved in changing the food system, just ask how. So I just asked, and it all has come together that I'm taking 3 high school girls to Berlin, Germany in April to do the first international farm experience. We have a really good friend who owns a small organic farm outside of Berlin, die Gärtnerinnenhof, and that's our friend Maria. So Maria is going to provide a 5-day internship for the interns that I bring. And we'll also have 5 days in Berlin to visit other farms and other things about agriculture in the area. And it's all covered by donors. It came together really quickly and really easily, and that was just about asking. So anyway, that's exciting. And one more thing that I'm doing with Cultivating Connections is putting out these community roundtables. So creating events where people in the community can come together to meet and learn and listen and practice leadership skills so that together we can create a new social field from which things emerge that we want to see happening. So for example, we want to see our food system continue to adapt and grow and change. Well, we have to create opportunities for that to happen. And so these community roundtables are an opportunity for people to get together and meet as individuals, not as positions in society, but just as people, and come to a clear space of understanding, and from that space of listening, find things that emerge together. So this community roundtable, I did 3 last year and had about 50 participants each time. We had one in the beginning of February, and we had 55 people, and now we have a 4-part series that started on Thursday and goes for the next 4 months. We had 22 people show up when the roads were full of snow, and and crazy outside weather, but people came together to really want to talk about how we view the system as it is and how we can change that. So again, it's opportunity that I think follow the opportunity, and for me, it's also therefore create opportunity. Kind of the last other thing I'm involved in is the Bitterroot Hemp Cooperative. And so at our farm last year, we grew hemp as part of the Montana pilot program for hemp growing. And we took a lot of our hemp, we took to the farmer's market every week and showed it to people and shared stories about hemp, and then collected ideas that people really wanted to gather on this. So I called for who wants to help start a hemp cooperative, and about 45 people showed up, and we have this hemp co-op now that I'm not the president of the board. I was really clear I wasn't being the leader. I just wanted to get it started, and now we have 55 members, and we're working on different ways to use hemp in the Bitterroot to create products and food, fiber, fuel, and jobs. So super exciting, and again, about opportunity. So really, I want to say that I've done a lot, because when I have ideas, I just do them. And I want to suggest that to you, that if you have an idea, you should follow it, because otherwise, what's the point of having a good idea if you don't stop and listen and be present and feel into the future and follow your idea to where it will take you? So sharing your time and your knowledge and your excitement about farming and about our food system is really important. And using the connections that people feel towards food is really exciting, and an opportunity I hope that you'll jump into. People want to be connected, and they automatically feel connected to their farmer. And so you as their farmer have this opportunity to provide a new way for people to feel connected to their food. And people need us to guide them to the opportunities to be connected with our food and our society and our community. So create opportunity and invite people. And really then that makes us the emerging food system. It's all of us in this room and all of us around the country that are doing something. So I invite you to please put on a bunch of hats and take every opportunity that comes your way, and realize that your diversity and your following opportunity is what is resilience for our food system. So thank you for growing food and talking about healthy food and everything about food. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. That was amazing, Laura. You are amazing. Laura was at our first conference 20 years ago. Is a very brand new farmer, and we really appreciate you coming online and sharing with us the amazing things that you're doing in the Bitterroot and the difference that it has made to be engaged with youth and engaging in other farmers in a cooperative way. I want to see if there's a couple of questions from the audience. Does anybody have questions for Laura? Ellen? Ellen wants to know when you sleep.
I'm sorry, what?
The question is, when do you sleep?
When do I sleep? Same as everybody else. I actually don't even like to get up early. I'm not a good farmer that way.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes. The question is whether your neighbors are okay with so many people coming down the road to your farm.
I'm sorry, you have to repeat that. I can't.
Just a sec. Oh. So, I'm sorry, I have to move this around. Oh, our internet is unstable. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had to turn the video around so you could hear me. So the question is, how is it for your neighbors? Are they okay with you having so many people come to the farm doing things on the farm? Like the traffic to come in and all of that engagement?
Yeah, that's a great question. We, being fairly rural, we share a driveway with a lawn care business. So there are people in and out, but it's not a crazy amount. We're at the beginning of a busy road. There's lots of people coming up this road anyway. So I don't think it's a big deal here, but if you're going to have a lot of access at your farm, it's definitely something to consider of impact.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions for Laura? Okay, well, thank you very much. I want to give you one more round of applause. Thanks so much, Laura, for joining us today.